Hello, everyone, and welcome to this presentation on BricsCAD by ZenTek Consultants. My name is George Ogorodnik, and I'd like to thank you all for joining us today. So today's presentation is on parametric blocks, and we're going to talk about how parametric blocks are an alternative to using dynamic blocks and other similar structures for saving the time for not having to go back and recreate repetitive structures. So before we start, I'd just like to remind everyone that microphones are muted for the duration of this presentation. That way background noise that you might have will not interfere with the presentation. And please feel free to use the question box to ask any questions, but I will mention that I'll answer the questions at the end of the presentation as we do have limited time and I want to make sure that I get through everything. All right, with that being said, let's get started. Now, for those of you that have not worked with us before, we are ZenTek Consultants, and we provide technology and software solutions for firms in the engineering, architecture, and construction, as well as manufacturing industries. And we are a trusted technology partner, and we provide technical training and consulting services. So if you're interested in our services, please feel free to check out our website for a full list of all the services that we provide. So parametric blocks, what are they and how do they work? So BricsCAD introduced the concept of parametric blocks, and the primary method of working with parametric blocks is it's a block with the various dimensions or geometric constraints assigned to it, which drive the geometry. So unlike a dynamic block, which allows you to change its shape in some way, as some of you are probably used to with AutoCAD, parametric block is more flexible and it allows you to enter as many parameters as you like and change those parameters to fully reconfigure your blocks. That way, you instead of creating several different types of the same block just to incorporate them into a single dynamic block, you're able to create a single definition and give it enough parameters so that this one definition can give you more flexibility. So, which leads me to my next point. Parametric blocks are infinitely configurable. When you add parameters to your blocks, you can change the dimensions to an infinite range as to how the parameters will allow you to change them. If you use a dynamic block, you're going to have some limits where you can only go past a certain point after which the block structure begins to break down. With parametric blocks, you can define your parameters as rigidly or as loosely as you want. So you'll be able to make your blocks as configurable as possible. So this also allows you to make multiple blocks. I mean, this part is the same as dynamic blocks. You can make as many block instances, and then you can change each one, and they're going to be changed independently from all the others. So if I make several instances of this fixture right here, and I change the shape and the size of it, both of these fixtures are going to be separate and they're going to be different. So if I change parts of fixture A, I'm not going to be changing anything on fixture B. And finally, they're fully compatible with parametric arrays. Now, BricsCAD handles arrays a little bit differently than AutoCAD does, where you still have the option of doing a classical array, which is defined, and then you're not going to be going back and editing that array and giving it more functionality. A parametric array is just like a parametric block, where all of its parameters can be linked to different parts of your design, and then you can go back and change different settings of your array, like this table, for example. So the radius of our table is linked to the number of objects in this polar array, and that's what changes how many chairs appear around this table based on how big the table is. That is while preserving the spacing between the chairs and the angle between the items in the array. All right, so with that being said, let's do a quick demo. So here is a dynamic block of that door that you saw. This is coming straight from AutoCAD, and this is a dynamic block with dynamic handles, and it's defined it works the same way as it does in AutoCAD. So here I can use these handles to shrink or grow this door, and you can see that it's set to change in specific increments. So I can only change it to be, it looks like it goes, it goes every 4 inches. And there's a maximum size that I can make this door, which looks like 3 feet 4 inches. And I can also change the way this door appears, whether it appears open, 30 degrees open, fully closed, 90 degrees open, and that's this button right here. And the way AutoCAD traditionally does this is with visibility states, where you can draw, how many are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 versions of this door in every one of these positions. And each one of these is contained inside of that block. So for you to be able to see this door in all 5 of these orientations, you need to draw this door 5 times and then define 5 visibility states. So that's a little bit complicated, and this is where parametric blocks make your life easier. So let's import a parametric version of this same door. So here's a parametric version of this same door. And as you can see right here, I have the important parameters available, and I can go ahead and I can change them. First, I need to change them in here. So there's the length of the door, and I can change it right in here by typing in values. So I can change it from 40 to say 15. So now my door is shorter. I can change it back to 40. Oops, looks like that broke it. So yeah, 40, 45. I can even make it 42.134, something like that. This is what this is where you're able to use parameters to your advantage, because if you have a specific design that you need this door to fit into, and you want to modify this existing door to perfectly fit into your design, you want to parametrize it, as opposed to with dynamic blocks, where if you have a set number of designs that this door will have, when it's finite and you know that you'll have only those states and you won't need any more, that's when you'd use dynamic blocks instead of parametric. So unlike this door, I can close and open this door to any angle. So instead of 30, let's make it 45. Let's make it 55. Let's make it 67.5. And as you can see, these parameters are infinitely variable, and I can change them as to how I see fit. And I can adjust this door to fit into any design. As long as I enter these parameters from my design, this door will change its size and shape and fit into that design. So I can even go ahead and animate these parameters just to show you that this is fully flexible. All right, so let's talk about the case where you have a specific set of designs that you will have, and you don't want to keep redrawing a single block to fit those states. You just want to draw a single block and then have that block change according to your design states. So let's import our fixture that you saw in my slides over there. So this is my fixture, and this has the same parameters that that you saw before. It has the width, length, and the radius of that circle inside. And I can go in here and I can change them. I can change them, I can animate them. So I can change the size of this box however I see fit. But you've already seen me do that with the door, so I'm not going to go into that again. But what I will show is, what if you have a design criteria for this door? What if you for this fixture? What if you have 3 different designs that you're going to be implementing, and you want to have a representation of each of these 3 designs without having to draw a whole new block every time. So this is where design tables come in. So here I have a design table that I made in Excel. So here's 3 different versions of this design, and I have 3 different values for each of the 3 parameters that I'm going to be modifying. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to import this design table into this design, and you'll see how easy it is for me to switch between each of these states. I don't have to manually go in and change each one of these parameters. So if I have like 20 or 30 of these parameters, this will save me a lot of time. So I'm going to go here. Actually, I'm going to use the command line for this. I'm going to go from file, and there's my design table. So now my design table is active, and over here it's set to version A, and our version A has these criteria: width 3, length 4, radius 1. And if I want to show version B, all I need to do is just click on this drop down and change it to version B, and the entire block automatically changes all parameters at once to meet the design table criteria. There's version C. Now, if I want to go back and I want to add an additional version to this table, say version X, and I can do that. I can make this one be massive, make it 100 by 100, and make the radius inside it 30. So I'm going to do that. I'm just going to save this table, and I'm going to reload the design table. So now I have my version X right here, and look at that. As soon as you add a new design, as soon as you have a new set of criteria to meet, you can just update your previous design table, and now you have a whole new design. And this is all coming from a single block. You did not have to redraw this block multiple times. So here's another example. Here's our table. So this is the example with dynamic arrays. So here we have the parameter of the size of the table, the radius. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to change this down to 50. So immediately you see what happens. The number of items gets smaller. So if I animate this parameter right here, you can see how as the radius gets bigger, the parameters controlling the number of items in this polar array that's driving this block right here changes. So it's not just dimensional parameters, it's not just geometric parameters, it's also the settings of this array that are compatible with the parametric representation here in BricsCAD. So here's another representation of a similar concept. So say you're designing an auditorium, and instead of the size of the auditorium, your design criteria is the amount of patrons, the amount of the size of the audience that you need to seat in this auditorium. So you can change the width of your auditorium and that'll change the number of seats or the I'm sorry, the rows and columns of your seats, so that the same where'd that go? It's right here. Okay. I'm just going to open a new file just to make it cleaner, get rid of all of these other parameters. So there's our stage block right here. So here it is, and we have these parameters right here that I'm gonna link. So we can change the number of seats that we want. So say if I don't want 40, I want 50 people to sit here, and it automatically adds another row. This is because it's driving the row and column parameters of this rectangular array. So if, for example, I don't want 50, I want 51, it's going to immediately add another row. And see, the reason it added a whole new row and not just one extra seat is because this array is set to be rectangular, and I haven't gone into doing more advanced array controls so that it gives you incomplete rows with items that don't have the same number of columns as they do as the other full rows do. So again, here I can go ahead and I can change the size of my stage while keeping the size of my audience the same. So if I make this 400, you can now see that this took out a row because we can now fit the 51 people in this configuration while keeping the length of the rows no bigger than the length of the stage. So that's just one of the ways that you can use arrays as well as parameters when defining blocks. Now, I did get a few questions, only one question actually, from Stephen. So Stephen asks, does changing the parameters for specific block instances edit the block itself? That's a very good question, Stephen, and no, it doesn't. When you import a single block, so here's my block right here. I can import another version of this block. This exact same block, it's got the exact same file reference. I'm going to import it. So as you can see, I can individually change the parameters of this one. So if this one I want it to be 30, so you can see this one has a different set of parameters because these two are separate blocks and each one has their own set of parameters, even though they have the same names. And not only can you have two instances of the same block with different values for parameters, but this does not change your block definition at all. Whatever your parameters were set to when you wrote that block to a file, that's what those parameters will stay as. All right. So it doesn't look like we have any more questions, so I'll wrap it up for today. And once again, we do provide support and training for various other softwares used in the AEC industry, as you can see on this slide. So once again, feel free to check out our website or reach out to us. And once again, thank you all for joining us. I hope you enjoyed this presentation, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.